Before we begin, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button now. This story needs to be heard, and your support helps us expose the truth. Like this video, and let's get started. An email arrived in our inbox that we almost didn't open. The subject line alone was enough to make us hesitate. Inside was a warning about content so disturbing, so violent, that the sender questioned whether it even belonged on YouTube. They were reaching out from Vietnam, desperate for help. A man had been beheaded in January 2025, but the footage didn't surface until August. And when it did, authorities pretended it never happened. The email included a Google Drive link to a PDF file. We knew clicking it was risky, but something about the desperation in those words made us investigate. What we found inside that document would lead us down a path that exposed not just a horrific crime, but a government cover-up that tried to silence an entire nation. This is the story of how ordinary people became detectives, how the internet refused to be silenced, and how truth fought its way through censorship. If you think this sounds intense, you have no idea what's coming. Make sure you're subscribed, because you won't want to miss a single moment of this investigation. In July 2025, a series of videos appeared online that nobody was prepared for. The first video was titled "Rehearsal." It showed two men in what looked like an office. One wore a striped shirt. The other wore a tracksuit and a Guy Fawkes mask. The scene was chilling in its calmness. The man without the mask laid his neck on a wooden cutting board. The masked figure practiced swinging a cleaver above his neck, over and over, like they were rehearsing a play. Then they embraced. The video ended, but that was just the beginning. The second video was called "The Execution." Both men were now naked. The victim lay on a tarp in a bathroom, the same wooden cutting board under his neck. The masked man had switched to a medical face mask. What happened next was captured from multiple camera angles, all mounted on tripods. This wasn't impulsive. This was planned. The sounds in the background were almost as disturbing as the visuals. Heavy breathing, traffic noise from outside, dogs barking. It felt disturbingly normal, like this horrific act was happening in the middle of everyday life. Then came the third video: butchering, a kitchen, a stainless steel table, a sink, the methodical dismemberment of human remains, limbs arranged in a pot like ingredients for a meal. Among the photos that surfaced, two stood out. One showed what appeared to be human organs prepared as curry. The other was a mirror selfie, the executioner holding the victim's severed head. And in that photo, his face and body were partially visible. A stocky build, balding, a scar above his left eyebrow, a dark birthmark running from his right bicep to his armpit, and a tattoo on his right arm that read, "That day 13 to 9. These images weren't just leaked for shock value. They had been sold. Screenshots from a private Telegram chat showed pricing: $13 for partial access, $28 for the full set. Someone had monetized murder. If you're still watching, hit the like button. This story gets deeper, and your support helps us continue investigations like this. As the videos spread across Vietnamese forums, people didn't just watch in horror. They started investigating. One name surfaced quickly: Wen Xuan Dot. An internet user with the pseudonym Phi was the first to mention him. That name led to a dormant Facebook account. The last post was from June 10th, 2025. From now on, I'm logging off this account for good. But when investigators dug into the account's history, they found something disturbing. Years of posts where Dot expressed an obsession with beheading. In 2022, he wrote, "Feeling bored. Might look for someone to call and chat about beheading. Anyone interested?" He was a member of online groups with names like Likes Beheading. His digital footprint went deeper. Usernames like .behead and beheading appeared on forums and adult websites. One profile description from 2019 read, "I love beheading. I also want to lose my head with an axe or a sword." Investigators found a manga he had requested to be translated titled Naked Headless Woman. The story depicted a man being decapitated at the height of physical pleasure. Many believed Dot had become fixated on recreating this fantasy. Using his online aliases, investigators found phone numbers. Those numbers traced to a Zalo messaging account under the name Dot Beheading with a birth date of March 10, 1989. People started messaging his Facebook friends. One of them was Phi, the anonymous user who first mentioned Dot's name. Phi claimed to have met Dot in person. He said Dot worked selling seafood at a market in Hanoi and was born in 1989. With that information, investigators cross-referenced government COVID relief records. They found a match. A man named Wen Shuen Dot, son of Win, from Haongu village. Birth date March 10, 1989. The village head confirmed that Dot had left home 4 to 5 years earlier and had been missing ever since. His only family was his mother, who struggled with mental health issues. That explained why no one had reported him missing. Now, the question shifted. If this was Dot, where did the killing happen? And more importantly, who was the executioner? Don't go anywhere. We're about to reveal how internet sleuths pieced together the crime scene using nothing but pixels and determination. And if this investigation is gripping you, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss what happens next. The first clue came from a tiny detail in the butchering video. A plastic water bottle with a label that looked like Lavi, a Vietnamese brand. That suggested the crime happened in Vietnam. But there was more. A yellow dish soap bottle with Chinese characters. Users who sold household goods recognized it immediately. They said products like that were only found in northern Vietnam, specifically in provinces near the Chinese border, like Lao Cai, Lang Son, and Quang Ninh. If the crime happened in a northern border province, then was the killer a Vietnamese man living there? Investigators turned their attention to the timeline. On Dot's Facebook, there was a post from January 25th, 2025. 3 hours left until the execution. That date matched the last activity on his beheading forum account. It seemed clear. January 25th was the day he died. But wait, if Dot died in January, how did his Facebook account post in June? That June 10th post, "I'm logging off this account for good," came 5 months after the supposed execution. The theory emerged quickly. The executioner kept Dot's phone. He managed his accounts, read his messages, and eventually posted that final status to cover his tracks. This theory gained support when Phi released a screenshot of a private message. Dated February 25, 2025, it stated simply that Dot had been beheaded. If real, this meant the killing happened in January, but the killer had maintained access to Dot's accounts for months. Then, Phi dropped a bombshell. He said he knew the executioner, and he gave a name, Chung. Another friend of Dot shared their own screenshots, messages discussing plans for the beheading. And in those conversations, one name appeared repeatedly, Chung. The friend referenced Chung as if he were someone known within Dot's social circle. So investigators started combing through Dot's Facebook friend list for anyone named Chung. Several profiles matched. Accusations spread fast. One man stood out. His profile was public, and in 2022, he had liked one of Dot's posts about beheading. When the case went viral and his name started circulating, he quietly removed the like. But screenshots already existed. He posted a denial, but his responses to strangers were odd. When someone messaged, "Behead me, sir," he replied, "Where are you? Which part of Hanoi?" Suspicious, but not proof. Another account drew attention, an older profile named Hua Choi. For years, this account had posted about wanting death. When investigators reached out, Hua Choi claimed to be the executioner. But the confession was hollow. No details, no follow-up. Was Hua Choi the Chung from Dot's messages? Was the real Hua Choi also dead, and the executioner was using his account like he did with Dot's? Or was this just a troll? Nobody knew. In early August, something strange happened. Dot's entire Facebook account was locked, inaccessible. This only fueled the theory that the executioner had been watching the whole time, reading every comment, and finally locked it when the pressure got too intense. After that, the case went cold. Discussions faded, leads dried up. Most people thought the investigation had hit a dead end. But then, 2 months later, everything changed. Before we get to that moment, let's talk about something serious. This case was hard on our entire team. We had to navigate dangerous websites, download suspicious files, and dig through content that could have compromised our security. That's why we use NordVPN. Their Threat Protection Pro scanned every file we downloaded to make sure it wasn't hiding malware. And when we visited unsecured websites during our research, NordVPN kept our data and IP address private. Without it, one wrong click could have exposed us to hackers. If you do any kind of online research, shopping, or even just browsing, you're vulnerable. Go to nordvpn.com BW for an exclusive deal. 2-year plan with 4 months extra. It's risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect yourself the way we do. Now, let's get back to the hunt. From late August to early November 2025, the case seemed dead. Dot's Facebook was locked. Online discussions slowed to a crawl. Only a handful of people were still digging. One of them was a Vietnamese YouTuber called Keto, the Curious One. He posted videos recreating the crime scene using 3D modeling, but it didn't reignite interest. Then, in the 3rd week of November, an anonymous Facebook account appeared in a group dedicated to the case. They uploaded chat logs and images that had never been seen before. These screenshots included direct conversations with Dot. The final message from Dot was sent at 2:40 p.m. on January 25, 2025. He said the execution would happen in 3 hours. That meant the killing likely occurred between 5:30 p.m. and 6:00 p.m. that day. But here's where it got interesting. The anonymous user revealed that Dot had given the executioner their contact information too. They were supposed to be next, but now, months later, they had changed their mind, and they were coming forward with evidence. The anonymous source shared something else: screenshots of conversations with the executioner himself, messages linked to a Facebook account named Cam Tang Chung. That name matched the Chung mentioned in Dot's earlier messages. The executioner, using this account, even sent the anonymous user an address to meet. But instead of going there, the anonymous user suggested a cafe. The exchange showed how casually the executioner discussed arranging another beheading. Using the name Cam Tang Chung, the YouTuber Keto began tracing every digital footprint connected to it. Days later, he posted an update claiming he had located both the executioner and the crime scene. He shared a cropped photo showing half of a man's face, allegedly the killer. But within days, Caddo announced he was stepping back. He said the people connected to the executioner were too powerful. He warned publicly that if anything happened to him, all the information would be released automatically. Before withdrawing, he uploaded one last clue: a distorted screenshot of a username the executioner supposedly used on anonymous forums. According to Caddo, it was the name of the executioner's own son. If you're on the edge of your seat, subscribe now. Because what happens next is where the entire case breaks wide open. On the morning of November 20th, investigators removed the distortion from Caddo's image. The username appeared: Dang Chun 1111. From there, the trail exploded. Variations of the same handle, Dang Chun, with different numbers, appeared on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and smaller forums. Each account showed similar behavior. Then another username surfaced: Doan Sang LS. When users searched for facebook.com Doan Sangles, a public profile appeared: full face visible, location listed, occupation listed. The name was Doan Van Sang. Was this the killer? Investigators started digging. They uncovered his full name and learned he was 59 years old and retired in 2025. But his former role was significant. He had served as the deputy principal of the Market Management Department No. 4 in Lang Son Province, one of the northern border provinces. But there was more. He wasn't just a retired civil servant. He was the clan head of the Doan family in Lang Son, one of the region's largest clans with thousands of members. This was a man with deep ties, public presence, and power. Photos resurfaced showing him at a government training event in December 2024, delivering a legal lecture. This wasn't some anonymous figure. This was a respected official. Scrolling through his Facebook, investigators found he had 2 sons. The older one posted frequently, often sharing student IDs and personal information. His real name was confirmed: Dang Chung, the same name from the anonymous forums. And here's where it got eerie. The son's birthday was September 13th. The tattoo on the executioner's arm read, "That day 13 to 9. Was the tattoo referencing his son's birthday? Or was the son the executioner who had his own birthday tattooed? But when they compared body types, the son didn't match. He was lean, with a full head of styled hair. The executioner was stocky and balding. Attention returned to the father, Doan Van Sang. The usernames, the tattoo, the location, the physical resemblance, everything pointed to him. And so, Doan Van Sang became the primary suspect, but they needed more proof. Investigators discovered Sang's verified accounts followed his anonymous accounts, and the anonymous accounts followed him back. On his official TikTok, Doan Sang LS66, it followed an account named Dang Chun 424. That account used a profile photo taken directly from the Cam Tang Chung Facebook page. The chain was clear: Doan Sang LS to Dang Chun 111424 to Cam Tang Chung, the same name the anonymous source had identified as the executioner. Then came a major discovery. Users attempted password recovery for 2 emails, doansangles@gmail.com and dangchun11111@gmail.com. Both prompted the same verification, confirmed through an Oppo Reno 12 5G device. When they tried recovering the email linked to Dot's phone number, It also triggered verification through the same Oppo Reno 12 5G phone. 3 identities, all traced to one device. Google also requested secondary verification through a phone number ending in 62. On Tsang's Facebook, the number he publicly listed ended with the same 2 digits. Every thread was pointing back to the same person. The anonymous source added another piece. 2 years earlier, the account Cam Tang Chung had sent them personal photos. Although the account was now locked, the forwarded images remained, and the man in them was Doan Van Sang. Users began comparing Tsang's photos to stills from the execution video. When they overlaid a medical mask on Tsang's face, the hairline and eye shape aligned closely with the executioner. Then came the decisive matches. A composite image circulated showing 3 everyday photos of Tsang beside a still frame of the executioner. All 4 images displayed the same circular birthmark on the outer left shin. Another composite showed a second birthmark on the front of the right shin, appearing in both the executioner's image and a casual photo of Tsang. The most significant comparison focused on the right bicep. In the executioner's video, a dark birthmark extended upward toward the armpit. On Tsang's Facebook, users found 2 photos where his sleeve shifted just enough to reveal the same mark in the same place, and the tattoo. The executioner's tattoo, that day 13/9, was clearly visible. A photo on Tsang's page showed a tattoo in a similar spot. The details were unclear, but the positioning matched. At this point, the physical markers were overwhelming. Birthmarks, tattoos, digital accounts, all tied to the same phone. Each piece alone meant nothing. Together, they formed a profile impossible to dismiss, especially once investigators started comparing the crime scene to places linked with Don Van Sang. Don't click away. We're about to show you how they matched the crime scene to a government office. And if this is blowing your mind, like this video and share it. This story needs to reach everyone. In one of Tsang's TikTok videos, a green wooden door appeared behind him. A door nearly identical to the one in the butchering video. Then, another match surfaced. On the official website of the Agency for Domestic Market Surveillance, users found a photograph of Tsang at work. When enlarged, the background revealed red patterned wall tiles and white counter tiles, the same design seen in the butchering footage. This raised a chilling possibility. The killing took place inside a market management department office. Investigators dug through public MMD reports and images. Offices for teams 1 through 5 often featured green doors and similar interiors. Records showed Tsang had worked at team number 5 and before retiring, served as deputy head of team number 4. Since MMD teams rotated duties, he would have had access to multiple office spaces. A local resident added a critical detail. The address where Cam Dang Chung had arranged to meet Dot's friend was only a short distance from the old team number 5 office. The resident also mentioned the MMD office kept aggressive guard dogs. That aligned with the barking sounds in the videos. As investigators examined the videos more closely, they realized the rehearsal and butchering clips were filmed in different locations. The breakthrough came when users cross-referenced the rehearsal video with footage Tsang posted on his verified TikTok. Background details lined up with near-perfect precision. The same plastic plant, the same cabinet knobs, the same uneven gap between cupboards. Even a fan with distinctive blue blades When viewers matched Sang's TikTok frame by frame against Google Street View images of the Team Number 3 office, the similarities were undeniable. The same white door, the same red brick pillars, the same decorative framework, even the same climbing vines. This suggested a timeline. Dot met the suspect at Team Number 3 for the rehearsal, then was brought to another site, likely Team Number 5, for the execution and butchering. But why commit such an act at a government office? The answer lies in timing and access. Sang held a senior position within the MMD. He had unrestricted access to the building, and January 25th, the day believed to be Dot's death, coincided with the Lunar New Year holiday. Government offices were vacant for 7 to 10 days as people returned to their hometowns. Inside the office, Sang had everything he needed: a fully equipped kitchen, an incinerator used for destroying confiscated goods, but capable of eliminating other material. It was the perfect crime scene, isolated, equipped, and under his control. As certainty about the killer's identity grew, pressure mounted. By the evening of November 20th, after months of silence, accounts belonging to Don Van Sang and his son Dong Chung began behaving erratically. Both accounts suddenly joined a Facebook group dedicated to the case and started posting directly. From Sang's account, a disturbing message appeared. "I am the executioner. Who can catch me? Let me tell you straight. You are the real executioners because you want more people to die so you can celebrate. I lived 60 years in this world. I'm no longer afraid of death." He escalated further. "Who exposed me? Show yourself. And anyone who wants to meet me is invited to my house." It was bizarre. Why would someone under suspicion post messages that only deepened suspicions? What would drive a man to taunt the very public trying to bring him to justice? Later, Sang tried to downplay his presence, claiming he had only just found the group because people tagged him. But that wasn't true. Screenshots showed his account had been in the group earlier, interacting with posts before November 20th. In one example from early November, when someone complained about lack of progress, Sang reacted with a laughing emoji. But it wasn't only Sang losing control. His son, Dong Chung, posted a picture with a taunting status. "Come on, it's just a few pieces of human meat." Within an hour, father and son deleted all these posts. But screenshots were already circulating. Had it finally dawned on them how much evidence the internet had? How safe did Sang believe he was? Did he think even if exposed, nothing would happen? That he was untouchable? For a while, it seemed he might be right. But events moved faster than anyone expected. All the information you've heard was assembled by members of a Vietnamese Facebook group called Onset. On November 23rd, after weeks of collecting images, posts, chat logs, and geolocation clues, the group compiled their findings into an 88-page report on Google Drive and released it to the public. 4 days later, on November 27th, they released an expanded 106-page English version, laying out every step of the investigation. Then, the Vietnamese government responded. On November 28th, the Tien Hong Commune Police issued an urgent public notice. They addressed the document circulating online, the community's 88-page investigation file. According to police, malicious individuals are deliberately amplifying information, inciting violence, and causing harmful psychological effects. They claimed the document contained malware that steals accounts, money, and commits fraud. Citizens were ordered not to share the content. Anyone who did would be breaking the law. Anyone who received it was told to delete it immediately and report the sender. Within hours, state newspapers echoed the warning. Content creators urged viewers to avoid the document at all costs. A graphic poster spread online claiming anyone who clicked the file risked losing control of their social media, having data stolen, devices encrypted for ransomware, or being used to scam friends and family. The message was clear. Authorities did not want the public accessing the investigation. If you're shocked by this level of censorship, hit that like button and subscribe, because we're about to show you what happened when the people refused to be silenced. On Reddit, a user described what came next. Old posts disappearing, accounts wiped without explanation, state newspapers threatening fines up to 5 million dong for anyone sharing the document's link. Inside the Onset group, the message circulated: stop sharing the files or face consequences. For many, the government's response was a clear attempt to control the narrative. Vietnam operates under a one-party communist system where news outlets are state-aligned and frame information to support official stories. But the attempt to suppress the investigation had the opposite effect. Instead of containing the story, it highlighted how much information had been uncovered without official involvement. The public had conducted its own investigation and built a comprehensive archive that contradicted the government's silence. According to a Reddit user, Vietnam's online community had been trying to get police to investigate Dot's murder since July 2025. They contacted officers, local authorities, even Dot's family. At the time, authorities showed no interest. It wasn't until November when online investigators exposed that the murderer was a member of the Communist Party that police acknowledged the case at all. By November 28th, the investigation moved to a public display of state action. Local reporters confirmed police forces had arrived at the former headquarters of Market Management Team No. 4. The building, abandoned after reorganization earlier in the year, was suddenly sealed off. Its front gate locked, perimeter reinforced with barbed wire. At least one structure inside, believed to be the canteen with the green door, had been paper sealed. Officials refused to reveal the reason for the presence. Word spread. A large crowd gathered outside the gate, dense enough to slow traffic. The following evening, November 29th, police presence intensified. Dozens of officers and multiple government vehicles arrived. Mobile police units deployed to maintain order. Barricades and cordon tape blocked the road. By then, roughly 100 onlookers had gathered. The chairman of the Hulu Long Commune People's Committee issued the first official acknowledgement. He confirmed officers were present in connection with information about Mr. DVS, the initials of Doan Van Sang. That same day, news described police efforts to locate Wen Xuan Dot. On November 27th, officers visited his family home, though they offered no explanation. Dot's mother said her son had been missing for a decade. After his father died, he left home, never contacted her, and no one had seen him since. Commune authorities stressed Dot had been absent for years, and they had no information about his whereabouts. While police maintained this narrow framing, they continued warning the public about the 88-page file, claiming owning it was against the law. On November 30th, a leaked report began circulating online, believed to be an internal police summary. According to that report, authorities first detected the videos on November 25th, notably 2 days after Internet sleuths released their 88-page document. Aside from the videos, police apparently discovered online groups who had identified the victim as Wen Xuan Dot and the perpetrator as Doan Van Sang. On November 27th, forensic examiners reviewed the footage and found no signs of AI generation. Then, on November 28th, police received a statement from Dot's village chief and collected a hair sample from his mother for DNA comparison. That same day, investigators conducted an on-site examination at the Team Number 4 office. Inside, they found a kitchen and restroom matching the layout in the beheading video. Beneath the sinks and inside drains, they recovered 3 suspected human teeth and multiple bone fragments, all sent for forensic analysis. Later that day, police searched Sang's residence and seized 2 jackets resembling the one worn in the footage, along with a heater identical to the one visible in the video. They also recovered Dot's phone from Sang's sister. She reportedly told police Sang had given it to her. The leaked report stated that during questioning, Sang confessed. He allegedly told investigators he met Dot online around 2020 through a website dedicated to extreme content. Dot repeatedly expressed his wish to be beheaded and offered money. By mid-2024, Sang agreed. On January 25, 2025, he called Dot to the MMD Team Number 4 office. That evening, Sang killed him. He dismembered the body, boiled portions to delay decomposition, smashed the bones, and distributed remains into roughly 10 bags. Some he fed to his dogs. The rest he discarded across temporary garbage sites. 2 days later, he threw the knives onto a tow truck parked along the roadside. A Reddit user claimed the leaked document wasn't an accident. Authorities released it not to inform the public, but to quiet them. Police did not confirm whether the screenshots came from inside the department, but they didn't dispute it either. 3 days later, the government released its first official statement. On December 3, 2025, the Ministry of Public Security published an official statement. It included a single photograph, Doan Van Sang in handcuffs between 2 officers. The ministry confirmed what the internet had been reporting for months. Sang had murdered Wen Xuan Dot and attempted to erase every trace through cleaning, disposal, and destruction of evidence. Investigators issued a decision to prosecute and an arrest warrant for Sang on November 29, 2025, on charges of murder. But even as they confirmed the suspect and crime, the ministry maintained one part of their earlier narrative. The community's case file was still harmful, still dangerous, still not to be shared. This case is only now beginning to gain international recognition. But beneath the surface, it is far more complicated. Wen Xuan Dot was a deeply vulnerable man in need of help. Somewhere along the way, the system failed him. And that same system seemed ready to protect the man who killed him. Without the relentless work of Vietnam's online community, it is unclear when or if Doan Van Sang would ever have been brought to justice. Despite repeated warnings and threats, Vietnamese netizens refuse to be silenced. Even now, they continue investigating remaining questions. Had Sang claimed other victims besides Dot? Did Sang act alone? Their plea for help has done more than expose a horrific crime. It revealed how the people of Vietnam are forced to fight not only for truth, but for their right to speak it. But we'd be naive to think this is a problem isolated to one country. There have always been those in wealth and power who suppress information and skew narratives to their advantage. We must be critical of what we're told before accepting it as fact. After all, There is always more than one side to any story. And the truth is out there. Sometimes it just takes digging to find it. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the work that went into this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It's the best thing you can do to help us keep making videos like this. And thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Go to nordvpn.com/BEW to get the exclusive deal of a 2-year plan with 4 months extra.